Yeah. All right. Welcome everybody to a casual creeps episode where today we're talking about.
Arachnophobia.
I'm glad you caught on
Yay!
to my pointing. This was fun.
I'm so happy you got to watch this.
For anyone that doesn't know, I have a very strong fear of spiders. So, even though I feel like this movie is pretty harmless, like it's probably not scary for most people, I hate
It's
it. I
considered a
hated
horror
it.
comedy, by the way.
Yes, it is. It's a horror comedy. I think the only comedic part is just John Goodman, and
Yeah.
you can tell by the music that comes when
Amazing.
he's
It's
in the
amazing.
scene. It's
Oh,
like do 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 do
sax and
do 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 do
sax
do
harmonica.
do. Saxophone harmonica. That's like a classic, like '90s, early
Oh,
'90s, late
yeah.
'80s,
It was pretty sweet.
wholesome.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like it felt like he was in like a family sitcom. Like he
Oh
he
yeah.
was like the neighbor next door, and he just like came by, and he like always comes in, and that's his music when he comes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, this is wonderful. I haven't watched this movie since I was a kid, so I
Oh God,
did not remember a lot of the movie, that's for sure.
there's a lot of very convenient setups in this movie that it kind of makes me laugh now.
Oh, it's
Um,
well,
but
like
it's okay. It's fine. It's
yeah,
like
it's
I feel
cute.
like
It's good.
it's a cute movie, apart from the spiders that are not cute because they're real, for the most part.
Yeah, there's
Not all of them.
no.
The non
The
the
end ones.
non-real spider. Oh, we'll get into the non-real
Oh,
spiders. They're cute,
beautiful.
but um,
There are a lot
yeah.
of
Do you have a? There were way too many real spiders. I feel for anybody that is afraid of spiders that was in this movie.
I don't think anyone would be in this movie if they're afraid of spiders.
I don't know. If they paid me enough, I'd try. But can you imagine me on set just like,
You'd be like the
it's like
lady in the
Emma.
birds who was terrified
Yeah.
of birds. And she said, oh, the only way I'll do the movie is if I don't have to interact with live birds. And then
And then
the
they
final
fucking did it.
he fucking threw a shitload of live birds at her. Albert Hitchcock. You son of
Fucking
a...
asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He's a very creative asshole.
All those really creative old dudes were just super sexist and stupid.
Yeah, they were not like
Anyway.
great. Yeah.
No.
Well, why hard to care about arachnophobia?
Anyways. Do you have a small intro to get us going?
I do not.
Damn it! Just make it up.
Arachnophobia takes place in a town that sounds like a venereal disease, and where Jeff Daniels, the guy from Dumb and Dumber, who's not Jim Carrey, brings his family, and somehow a crow picks up a spider, drops it into his barn, and creates Spider Armageddon that threatens the entire planet.
Beautiful. See, it seemed like you already had that prepared. That was perfect.
Perfect. See, my bullshit just flies.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a great bullshitter.
My eyes are brown. My mom always told me I was full of shit.
Hey, you and me both. Full of shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can get into the movie. There's a lot to cover.
Oof. A lot.
But, yeah.
A lot of legs to cover.
Oh, a lot of legs, because spiders have a lot of legs.
That they do. 8 of them.
8 of
Boom.
them. So Arachnophobia is a
Actually,
1990.
Bryce, I really want you to tell them the story about how a spider fell into your eyeball.
What? Okay.
I feel that this fits perfectly in with a review of Arachnophobia as to why you're afraid of spiders, and it made me laugh my ass off when you told it to me. So,
This is not why I'm afraid of spiders. There were
why.
many more situations. Okay, so this was
many hilarious
one of
scenarios
the many
in with
things
spiders.
that happened to me. I have a few stories, but yeah, I can say this one. So one day, it It was like a beautiful summer's day in Vancouver, and Vancouver's very lush. There's a lot of trees, there's a lot of foliage, so I'm just walking through this tree-lined street on my way to work, and I'm just minding my own business, and then suddenly this black thing just flies into my eyeball, and it just gets sucked in there. And it's something that happened a lot in Vancouver, is because maybe my height and the size of my eyeballs, bugs just
It's like the
wet
perfect
in them.
bug height.
It's the perfect bug height and size. It just sucks them in.
It's like a sticky pad that like
Yeah,
you like lay out and they just fly into it and stick to it.
Except it's my eyeball attached to my face. And so I'm just walking along, and there's this black thing that got into my eye, and I'm freaking out, just thinking it's maybe a mosquito or something, and I'm trying to pick it out. I'm looking frantically on my phone to like see if I can see the reflection of it. I can't get it, so I have to kind of just, my eye is watering, by the way, and my makeup is just completely all down my face. I love how you're losing your shit right now. And so I just hobble to the nearest Starbucks on the way to work, and I just run to the bathroom to pick out what's ever on my eye, and I pull it out, and it is a decent-sized spider that was in my eye. And on my way there, I could feel it moving. Like, I could feel it still alive as it was dying in my eyeball, and I pulled it out. It was a freaking spider, and I think I almost puked at that moment, but, yeah, that was my traumatic spider eye experience of living in a very buggy city.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
for sharing, Emma. That was a story worth sharing. Not too many people get spiders in their eyeballs. You're the first
but
for
I
me,
do.
at least. I've never heard of anyone doing that.
Well, lucky me, I guess.
It's a good story, just very traumatizing.
So, yeah. So, yeah, start leading with that lovely story. Now we can get into the movie.
All right, setting the tone.
All right,
Need a tone
setting the
setter.
tone.
Spiders
Yeah,
and eyeballs is a perfect tone setter for arachnophobia.
probably, honestly. It's got that tiny slice of comedy, but it's mostly just spiders.
It's still focused on spiders, but it's still comedic with the spider at the center of the story.
Yeah, exactly. That's
It's gag. It's like the end gag. You know, it's the finishing.
it's perfect. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like
spider guy.
arachnophobia.
It is.
So-
Arachnophobia is like an hour and a half of Eva trying to get a spider out of her eyeball. But blown up into an entire town.
Blown up into an entire town of Emmas trying to get spiders out of their eyeballs.
Oh no, our
I've
town is
seen-
unpronounceable. I do not remember what it's called. Kuwak?
I wrote it down. It's Kanaima,
Kanaima.
which to me sounds like a knockoff brand of Vagisil.
Yes. Kanaima. Oh.
It's like the lesser known Vagisil.
Yeah. It's like it was
Kanaima.
back in the 80s, and then like Vagisil won out on the branding, so Kanaima doesn't exist anymore. But like, you know, back in the day, Kanaima used to be really big. The 70s.
Kanaima was the thing, and then they realized, oh yeah, Vagisil just has a nicer ring to it.
Just flows. We can't compete with Vagisil. We're Kanaimal.
Kanaima. It's Kanaima.
Kanaima.
To be fair, I wrote it down as Canada a few times and then realized, oh no, that's not right.
Oh,
Canada is too easy. It's too close to Canada.
yeah.
Kanaima.
Kanaima.
That's the right one. That's the taste. Okay, so now we'll get into the movie. Arachnophobia is a 1990 American horror comedy film directed by Frank Marshall in his directorial debut from a screenplay by Don Jacoby and Wesley Strick. I don't really care about that part, but that's
God,
fine.
I wonder what else
I don't know. Starring Jeff Daniels and John Goodman, because I guess the other actors don't matter.
No, fuck it.
Just those
people.
two.
They're the most
The
famous.
main characters, yeah.
There's the fat, weird talking guy from Total Recall that tries to feed Arnold Schwarzenegger the red pill, and there's the bad guy from Warlock is in it, the Warlock, and and some guy that you've seen before, but you will not know his name.
Yeah, that's the background guy.
Yeah, background.
So yeah, the two characters that matter, and the film follows a small California town that becomes invaded by an aggressive and dangerous spider species. Spider species.
Very.
So yeah, it's very similar to Anaconda and Congo in that it starts the same way with scientists like going into a foreign land and they're researching, in this case, the new bug species in Venezuela. So they're just trying to find new species of bugs.
It's always in a big jungle. That's always where the best ones take place.
Always in this big jungle. It's so funny. It's like they all sort of have a similar template for these movies, and they just kind of try to put their own flair on it. Like, this is the spider version.
It's the one with the spiders.
Yeah.
This one's with a giant snake.
Except this one has Jeff Daniels and John Goodman, so.
And that's pretty great. That's
John Goodman, he's like adding the Tim Curry.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. He's the spice in this stew.
He's the spice in the stew. Yeah.
Spider stew.
It is. Ugh. Spider stew. So, yeah, so there's these researchers out in this jungle, and they're gassing a bunch of these bugs out of a tree, and they're falling down.
He's murdering them. He just kills all the bugs.
Killing.
The guy picks up like this beautiful butterfly. He's like, look, this is a rare first of its species. And I'm like, yeah, it's dead. You just killed it.
You fucking killed it.
Asshole.
There must have been a better way to do this, but okay.
Yeah.
It was so gross in that scene too, because you can just hear the sound of the bugs falling, and it just sounds like they're falling on like a tin roof, because they have these metal
basins,
like, gassing
funnels, big
basins
that go to a jar. Yeah.
It's gross. So yeah, the main spider researcher, I've coined him. His name is James. He discovers a new species of spiders without sex organs, indicating that they exist in a hive-like environment with like soldiers and stuff, which is interesting. I'm like, how is that the only option if something doesn't have sex organs?
Well, it couldn't reproduce. So, because something like that would only exist for a singular purpose, because obviously it can't carry on. Because every animal, essentially, its whole purpose is to procreate, so the species doesn't die.
That makes sense.
So it's well, if they're not programmed to procreate, they must be programmed to do something, and so they can't be a species on their own, because a species with no gender would not exist.
Yeah, it just made me think that does make sense now, but it's sort of the only option they can think of, I guess, is comparing it to a beehive.
I think they say
I guess it's
bees.
Maybe, I guess, because it's the only example we know of where they do that. But theoretically, there could be other reasons or other
termites live in hives too. They might do this
where it exists. Maybe it's just a term for a colony or a group of insects.
Yeah.
That also include non-gendered, non-sexed.
You know what? The insect world is friggin' progressive, yo. They are on board, man. They're cool with everybody. They don't mind. You got no gender, no problem. We don't mind. We got a job for you.
It doesn't matter. We're already doing stuff.
Colony, baby. Don't worry about it.
Hell yeah.
Files, no problem.
Yeah, I feel like the bumblebee.
Bumblebees?
One of the bees should be a good sign for asexual people.
Yeah, the ambassador, a big bump. I love bumblebees.
The ambassador.
They're great.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love bumblebees?
I don't know enough about insects to know if that's like a fully accurate thing. But anyways, um,
Yeah,
representation.
I'm not brushed up on my my insect genders.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay.
I
Maybe
can't
when we
tell.
get popular enough, someone will correct us very kindly. I'm sure.
Please
Um,
correct. If there's any sort of insect gender expert, I would love to hear.
Actually, I feel like if anyone is an insect expert on like the sexes, etc., of insects, they would respond in a very educational manner. So,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I'd be
you know.
very shocked if they were listening to this.
I know, right? It's like, oh, you're very well rounded, sir or
Yeah,
madam.
wow. Yeah, you check all the boxes.
You check all the boxes. So, anyways, the James SpiderMan, he
Warlock.
just discovers, yes, he discovers spiders without sex organs, indicating they exist in a hive-like environment with soldiers. And one of the spiders ends up jumping a ride back to their camp when they're like bringing all the dead
This
bugs back
spider
with
is
them.
smart as shit. It like watches him
Yeah.
and it sees that the one no name guy squishes one of his buddies, and he's like he remembers and he's like, I'm gonna get fucking revenge on you, and he specifically crawls into his backpack so that he can fuck with him. Like that spider's like super smart.
That's
These like
right, yeah. Because
and it
that
wants
guy did
revenge.
squish a spider, and
Yeah.
he was. It's funny because the way we described him, it was like he's not a good enough actor to necessarily play a main role, but he's probably been the background guy in a lot of movies. So he's like your working man actor. That's like
Definitely.
he's reliable. He'll get your scene done, but he's not gonna like steal the show. He's the perfect like
Yeah.
background guy.
I figured
Perfect
it
for
out.
kids' TV shows.
He would be the bad guy in Richie Rich 3.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect casting.
Yeah. That's
So yeah, the spider jumps right back to their camp and he bites the dude that stepped on his comrade spider. Um,
my comrade. I will avenge you.
comrade spider.
Will not
And
let you live.
yeah. And then everyone else, they find this guy's dead. They pack him back to his hometown, which happens to
Without
be,
freezing him, they just like leave him in a
yeah,
box.
Kanaima. They send him back to his hometown, Kanaima, and the
Spider crawls
spider
into the coffin.
crawls in. And this is these are some of the funny scenes with the fake spiders, because this is like 1990 technology, where it's like they just have a fluffy spider and they don't bother moving the legs, they just kind of like drag it across
Oh,
the
so lazy.
thing.
It's hilarious. You just see these like little things at the end. They're like, whoop.
Yeah, there's scenes where he's crawling into the coffin and there's just a hole and you could just see the spider legs dangling out the end and they just kind of suck in.
It's amazing.
It's like, yeah, a spider can just suck itself in there, no
I'm
problem.
pretty sure. Yeah. No worries. That's how
Yeah,
it
don't
works.
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
This is a super
So,
spider. You don't know what it's capable
yeah,
of.
you don't know. No one knows, but they
It's
will
crazy
find
smart.
out.
Yeah, they will find out.
Yeah. So this body arrives in Kanaima. The body is completely drained. It's like sucked of all
It
its
looks like
life force.
yeah,
It
it's
looks like a
amazing.
mummy. And we see this spider just escape the coffin
Oh my god.
and it
Okay,
runs out of.
I just have to interject with one more thing because you
Yes.
specifically said the word life force. And the writer, I'm pretty sure that body is a reference to Life Force. And Life Force is a movie
Oh!
about space vampires. And the writer of Arachnophobia wrote Life Force. I looked it up on IMDb
Damn!
when you mentioned the writers. And he wrote Life Force. And Patrick Stewart's in that. And he kisses a man because he gets possessed by a female space vampire. And they suck
Nice.
like your soul out of you, and then you turn into a little mummy thing like that looked exactly like him in the box.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was a very convenient interjection, I guess.
It's like,
I didn't even know.
you said it. I have to.
Life force! Oh, there's a nugget!
Oh my god, it's amazing. It's so cheesy. Yeah, I'll have to show it to you one day. It's pretty
Okay.
glorious.
I'm excited about this. Would love to watch Life Force.
Patrick Stewart has a
Um,
mustache and still hair.
oh, what? Wow, now I really need to see this.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, back to arachnophobia. The spider escapes, um, which this part's pretty funny. So the spider escapes the morgue, and then a crow grabs it, and then while it's flying, the spider bites the crow dies, and it lands super conveniently right outside of Jeff Daniels' newly bought Kanaima house as they're like moving in. And I'm like, okay, well, this
Yeah,
is where the movie takes place, I'm assuming.
yeah. Really,
Outside this large house with
yeah.
the like actor looking people moving into this house. So
These will
yeah.
be our main characters for the movie.
These people are attractive enough to be the main characters. Looks
Jeff
about right.
Daniels has a sweet, like, kind of like mullet,
Oh,
smooth,
feathered mullet.
yeah,
He
feathered
has.
mullet.
We were talking about this as we were watching it. I'm like, this mullet is all business. It's a business mullet. There's no party happening because he's too classy for that shit.
No,
It's
he's
a
a
business
doctor.
mullet.
He's got a business. He's got a doctor mullet.
It's like, you know what?
Doctor
I
mullet.
respect that you chose a mullet, but you still kept it business. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
your clients will respect a business mullet. If there's any party happening as a doctor in your mullet, it's a no,
No,
not happening.
I don't want any
That's
party at my doctor's
no, I
mullet.
don't want any parties when you're trying to diagnose my diabetes. Sorry.
Diabetes. Exactly. I want a doctor with no party.
No, you can have a party when you're partying. That's a doctor. If you're a party doctor, you know,
You
have
can
a
have
good
like you can
time.
get like a mullet extension that he can like just clip on to his like normal
Yeah,
mullet for the weekends. He's like, I'm putting on my party mullet.
it's his weekend mullet.
Mullet. He gets some extensions for it, and he has a party mullet.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what Jeff Daniels does on the weekend. He goes into party mullet.
Um, Party mullet mode. Um, so so yeah, that happens. The spider lands outside of the business mullet's house.
Yeah.
Um, and we learned pretty quickly that the dad, um, Jeff Daniels,
Yes.
that's his name? Yes. He's very afraid of spiders, which is where the title comes in. So he's a bit of an arachnophobe, and he is also
Arachnophobe.
what?
Just like you, arachnophobe.
You freaking arachnophobe. And we learn he's also a physician. He's supposed to be taking over for the newly retiring doctor. Um,
Grumpy man.
and also the mother of the family somehow really loves spiders, and we
Yeah,
don't really know why.
she's just like really on board with spiders, and she's like telling her kids like, make sure you take the spider outside and don't kill it.
That
There's a very
that has
spider
no.
positive message in this movie, even though there are killer spiders in it. They make sure to
It's
not demonize spiders too much.
This is true, which is kind of hilarious because it's completely like thrown away by the end of the movie when
Do they
everyone's just
succeed?
killing spiders.
Maybe not.
Yeah, right. Um, so yeah, the back to the old man physician dude. So he just decides randomly when
Daniels.
Jeff gets there. Jeff Daniels gets there. I don't know why I'm like I keep wanting to call him John. There's like a John, there's a Jeff, there's a James, there's too many J's. There's a John Goodman, Jeff Daniels, and a James SpiderMan.
James
Anyways.
SpiderMan? Who that? Oh.
He's the
Yeah,
character.
the doctor. Okay, yeah, James Spider-Man.
Yeah. James Spiderman. So Jeff Daniels realizes he doesn't have a job because this old fart doctor guy is just like, you know what? As soon as people retire, they just freaking die. I don't want to die. It's like, oh god, okay. You look like you're 90. I think you should probably stop working, sir. And he is clearly prescribing people like bad medication because he
Yeah.
doesn't know what he's talking about anymore. But there's some small town drama because basically the entire town just loves this doctor, and they're very resistant to
Is
change.
that a thing in small towns? Do small towns have a fierce loyalty to their small town doctor? Like,
Maybe I could
bizarre.
see in like a smaller hick town, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the town I grew up in is not as hick anymore. It's pretty artsy now, but I don't know. There's still maybe some communities, like some offshoots of my hometown, where it's like if you did get a big city folk in there that's like from LA, you
Oh, you.
know, like they might be pretty resistant to that.
That's funny, really.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's hard for me to know because I'm so removed from that environment now.
Would
So
be the big city folk now.
I would be the big city folk with my weird bright clothes. Oh,
What's all that color on your clothes? We only dress in black and white.
we only wear brown, khaki, and
We blend in with
what?
the
And camo, and
Oh,
beige. Yeah, all the
yeah.
camo.
I saw a lot of camo growing up.
All the camo, all the time. But yeah,
Camos
so
and
that's mostly the drama. What?
country stickers on the back of cars.
Oh yeah, I listen to 103.9 country radio.
I listen to
It's like,
JRFM. Country Radio.
JRFM.
That was the one in Langley. JRFM.
Oh. Yeah, I can hear it now. So yeah, that's the drama, I guess, and the cop especially is annoying because he just blindly sides with
Mhm.
this old doctor guy, even
Yeah.
though he has no knowledge of medicine, but he, will assess a crime scene, but just immediately be like, "Oh, the doctor knows what he's talking about. It's fine."
Yeah, it's fine. He's a podunk cop.
So
He's doesn't know what he's doing. And he
yeah,
also is kind of like one of those faces. He's like one of the working actors too, where he kind of looks
yeah.
familiar, but he's just not good enough to be any normal actor.
Oh yeah, he's a very basic, cheesy style
Yeah.
actor.
He would be
But
the villain in
so
Home Alone 6.
yeah, he's later. He's not
A
as
burglar.
good.
He could be a burglar. I feel he suits best like a burglar, and that other guy could be
Yeah,
like a businessman villain.
yeah, that's true. He has enough. What's the word? Like he's fancy enough.
His charisma, je ne sais quoi.
What's the word? Yeah, he has like a little extra spark to him that the other guy
Yeah.
doesn't have. But anyways, uh, going on some tangents here, but
A-list actors.
yeah, well, I don't know. And so Jeff Daniels has only one patient due to everyone else's loyalty to that old man.
Yeah.
And
Old
this
chatty
part
lady
is,
who's just constantly
yeah,
talking to her.
has a weird obsession with him, like definitely has a bit of a crush on him.
I think
Um,
so. She is a widow.
she's a widow. And, oh, there's the scene made me laugh, actually, where it's, you see Jeff Daniels and his wife, they're like starting to get a little frisky, and they're like about to have sex, and then it like cuts to two spiders.
Oh yes, intimate. I
'Cause there
definitely.
was, yeah, so there's a house spider that was in their house that the wife was like, "Oh, you have to be nice to spiders. Let's let it go." And the house spider goes into the barn, which is where the Venezuelan spider
Super.
went to. And so we get to see two, like one small spider, one large spider, just like getting it on in the
Like
barn.
little mandibles like start touching. It's just like
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
like they're
shot like
trying.
completely like face on, like sideways, so it's like both profile their like heads together,
Yes.
and it's just like
Yeah, it's just like their mandibles touching and their arms are just like
it's like
reaching out
why
for
is
one
this in the
another.
goddamn movie? It's like
Why did you intercut it with like a
Jeff.
romantic human scene?
I know it's like so off-putting. It's like what? It's just everyone's having a little sexy time tonight. Spiders in the barn.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
that
so
was.
funny.
Oof.
But it's so
That's
weird.
a scene in a
But
movie.
yeah,
They wouldn't put that in a movie nowadays, let me tell you.
they would not. Well, maybe. Just not a main movie.
No, not a movie that'd be in the theaters.
Yeah. No,
I
no.
want to have
I
the
don't.
spider sex scene. It's very important to set up so that we know that it mated with another spider.
I mean, they did kind of have to set that up because
Well, yeah,
now.
maybe they just could have done it, like, they didn't have to try to make it, like, erotic.
No, they didn't have to make it erotic in any way.
That
They
would have
could
been
have just
better.
like shown the two spiders going in separately, and we could have connected the dots when we saw like the spider sack. Like that's
Yeah,
fine.
boom, egg sac, got it. Yeah, two spiders make egg sac. Yeah.
We don't need to
They
see
even use
the
soft
romantic.
lighting on them. It's so weird. It's like a softcore porn.
Oh my god, it's very weird. So maybe that's the comedy part. They thought that was so funny back in the
Ooh,
90s.
spider porn.
So
It's gonna be a thing.
the domestic spider makes hundreds of other baby spiders, and these, I guess, are the drone spiders without sex organs, and
Yeah,
they have crazy venom. And so
crazy.
we see a bunch of people just gradually are starting to get bitten. And the first one is the singular patient of Jeff Daniels.
Aw,
She gets
damn it.
bit.
Son of a
The
bitch. There she
one
goes.
patient. She died so fast. And
Yeah,
then there's a
just
football
broke.
player. And then it's the old doctor himself.
These
So,
spiders are also like super convenient. Like they really have really good
yeah.
timing too. Like the one spider's in the lamp and it like Spider-Man's down under her hand, like down a web line onto her hand, bites her, kills her, and then they always get away. Like they're super good at sneaking away too. The one like crawls into the dude's football helmet while it's on the ground.
Yeah.
Just as he's about to pick it up, he puts it on, bites him, and then somehow the spider's able to crawl out because they take the helmet off and no one sees it, just like off in the distance.
Ugh.
And then the other one like is just waiting in his like he's like, oh, I know people wear shoes. I'm gonna go in here. And he's like, I'm gonna wait for you
Yeah.
and then bite the shit out of your toe.
Fucking
They're,
spiders and shoes, though. They do like shoes.
that's true. They do yeah, like
Not a
dark, dry
fan of.
places.
Bleh.
Yeah.
Gross. So it kills the doctor, which was like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, fuck you for not listening to Jeff Daniels, because Jeff is saying the whole time, like, pretty sure this is a spider, like, there's a bite
Yeah.
here, and he didn't listen, he got freaking bit.
Well, even more. If he
And,
retired, he could have probably went on vacation with his wife, and you know what? They
yeah,
wouldn't even have been there.
wouldn't have even been there. That would have been a much better idea, sir. So
Yeah,
anyways,
dying like an idiot.
now, Jeff is the main doctor, so you can
Yes,
take
he's back
that.
on track. An old
Back.
battle axe dive, but he's got
Old
all the rest
Jeff,
now.
he's made it back. And he's convinced it's a spider bite, but the cop assumes it's all heart attacks, like the old doctor said before. But he insists to do autopsies, so they've got the three bodies lined up, and they have James the SpiderMan
Oh yeah, he
is
phones him
called
up.
in to assess.
Yeah.
So he's in there and he's assessing all the bites, and that's when they start making the connection that all three of them died from a spider bite, and that it looks like it was so venomous that it could be linked to the spider he found in Venezuela.
Yes.
Wow.
How could this be?
And then throughout all of these like bites, and there's more spiders coming around, we see clips here and there of John Goodman.
Yes, with his
And it's
perky
so
music.
random. Yeah, it's like I'd have to scroll through to see exactly when, because he's not mentioned anywhere like on synopsis areas, because he plays like not really much of a role in the movie
He's just
apart
like
from just a
the
comedic
comic relief
relief.
guy that comes in every
Yeah,
once in a while. He does join the movie at the end, but he still doesn't like. He's just kind of like there to be
yeah.
the
He
spice, like we said.
discovers things. So yeah, because there's like 2 or 3 times where you just see his truck pull in and it's do 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 do. And he's like, all right, I'm here, and
That
he's just got his like.
saxophone going.
It's so peppy, and it's just like such a
It's so
different
out of
tone.
place.
It's like, yeah, they're filming, like you were saying, like a just some random TV show.
Yeah, like a family sitcom, and he's like the next door neighbor. Like, it's so peppy. It actually takes you completely out of the movie because it deflates any tension that the movie has built up to this point. Anytime one of those scenes happen, it's just like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to be afraid anymore. No one's gonna die while this music's playing.
No, yeah, exactly. It's just do 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 do. I don't know how many times I've sung that same thing, but anyways, he just
I
pops
can't get it out of my mind.
I can't. It was in my head like the last couple days. Just I'd be walking down the street like John Goodman.
And you can never tell anybody because no one will know what you're talking about.
No one knows about this movie, and if they know about this movie, they don't remember John Goodman.
They're not going to remember that song. They may remember him, but definitely not the song.
Not the song. But it's funny because it's like those scenes, it's like he's in his own world. It's like they're showing snips of him in his own movie, which is a comedy. Yeah. And then we get back to Arachnophobia, and then it's like, oh, we're in his movie now, and we're back to Arachnophobia. And then this scene where they have all the characters that are like lined up for their autopsies, it's like, oh, John Goodman is now entering Arachnophobia because his songs stop playing, and he's like still kind of a goofy character, but he's integrated now.
Yeah,
he's like they other characters.
Absorb him into the Arachnophobia movie.
He's in it now. He's part of the movie now. But like before, it was like he just was in his own world, and it didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Like, we need comedy in the movie. Let's just have comedy scenes. It doesn't matter if they link up with anything else. Who gives a shit? And then we'll put him in later.
That would be a pretty fun character to play, though. Just like an idiot exterminator guy that's.
His accent is hilarious. I don't know exactly what it is. He kind of has like
a
weird lisp, but he sounds like he's from New York as well. So,
I don't even know. Yeah, he kind of talks out of the side of his mouth.
It's hilarious. It's great. Wonderful John Goodman performance. Fresh off of Roseanne.
As always. Fresh off of Roseanne. Yeah, and so that happens, and we see the spiders from the other area. They're in the barn. They're in the barn. They've like moved an additional egg sack, I think, into the basement.
To Jeff Daniels'
it's like they're
wine
moving
cellar,
house.
which is his dream, that he really wants this wine cellar super bad.
And this egg sack is like pulsating, kind of.
It looks like a gremlin egg, essentially. Like it might as well just be a gremlin. It doesn't look like any normal spider egg. It's so goopy and evil looking. It's like purple. It's got like bulbousy bits on it. Like spider eggs don't look like spider eggs are fuzzy because they're wrapped in webbing to protect it. Like the whole point is to protect it.
It's funny because usually they're on like the back of the mother spider. Yeah. But in this one, it's just like a sack that they're just dragging behind him, and it's just like flopping around behind him.
Bigger than the tarantula. Also, it's kind of confusing because only one tarantula comes to the town, but then at the end of the movie, there's just two tarantulas. Like, does that house spider mutate into a bigger spider?
So what happens? I found this out by reading the Wikipedia because they didn't explain it. So, we learn that actually there's like a queen spider and the dude spider? I don't know. But anyways, like the dude spider basically bred its own queen spider from the house spider. So this is its own offspring. So it's inbreeding, which is how it's able to make the new spiders, which is why James the SpiderMan.
No wonder they have no gender. They're all inbred.
Well, no, that's the difference now. It's like what James the spider dude had like this little monologue was like, oh, it's so dangerous because now he's inbred with his own queen, so now the new spiders will have sex organs, and that's how it's going to spread to the whole world. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Inbreeding makes spiders stronger.
I think it's because he had to breed specifically with a queen.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, but before he only bred with that dirty house spider.
Just the dirty house spider, which apparently doesn't count. So that's
so
fine.
It needs So it got no junk from the house spider, but then it bred its own queen from the house spider, and then got okay, sure, that sounds like a big
Whatever.
Fuck it.
Oh, it doesn't really make much sense, but that's fine.
It bred itself. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, oh, that's so. It's like, it's a head scratcher.
Okay, what it said on the Wikipedia was James learns that the general produced a queen. The general is the male spider.
Yeah, that's
and
one.
Inbred with her to produce a second nest guarded by the queen, which could produce fertile offspring, culminating in the species' next stage of evolution and worldwide dispersal.
Yes.
Which is what I said, just in a nicer way.
That's amazing. That's so great. How is it going to get worldwide? So stupid. Spiders are going to take over.
Oh, they made it so intense in the movie. It's so like, oh, this is right now it's span, but once they can breed with themselves, it's the world.
I feel like if humans fucking actually like realize that there was like a evil spider infestation, all they would do is like figure out a poison gas that could kill it, and then just like wash it over the entire country. Everyone wear a gas mask. Spiders don't know what a gas mask is. They'll just die. Like, who gives a shit? They're spiders. The spider assassinated the president. That should be arachnophobia too. It's like the spiders have spread, and they thought they stopped them, but they didn't. There was a secondary egg, and it's like spread across the world, and it takes place in the spider post-apocalypse.
Oh, damn. Spider post-apocalypse.
Jeff Daniels will be in it too. He'll reprise his role.
Oh, God. And I will be there screaming in the background.
Yeah, and the spider will be like the size of like a building this time, so it's like evolved like 50 times.
It's like that 8-Legged Freaks movie.
Yeah, but it'll be classy.
Okay. I haven't seen 8-Legged Freaks, so.
Neither have I
wouldn't know.
Doesn't have the class of arachnophobia.
No, arachnophobia keeps it very grounded with its real spiders.
With its real spider apocalypse scenario.
The spiders are creepy. Like, I will say that all the small spiders just make me feel gross watching them. There are some scenes where there's so many spiders, like real spiders in one scene, it made me want to crawl into a ball.
Near the end of the movie, you're having a hard time when like the spiders invade the house, and there's just like dozens of them coming out of holes.
Everywhere. Oh, there's
when they come into the bathroom through the door handle, they're like...
and up the drain pipe, and they're just like, blah. It's like, oh, no, stop it. Don't do it. Oh, so
you said you had the same nausea as when you watched The Fly.
Yeah, I did. Which is like... I'm just very easily disgusted, I think.
Well, that is the point of all of this.
Who would have thought it just took a spider movie?
Hey, you just gotta, get that right fear gland.
The fear gland.
Yeah, that's how you say that.
So, after, we've sort of discussed their discovery of these super venomous spiders that can take over the world.
Redneck spiders. They have little mega hats on.
Oh, yeah, they're all probably avid Trump supporters. Yeah. And they discover where each person was bit is sort of like a radius around where they believe the main nest is, which just happens to be Jeff's house. So they all rush back there, and James the SpiderMan does the stupidest thing ever. He goes into the barn and he's like, I'm gonna catch the general spider. And he goes up and he sees this crazy ass web, and he pokes the web, and he's like, dinner's ready. And he has like this tiny jar that he's gonna try to catch him in. And this huge spider just attacks his face, and that's it.
He does nothing. He doesn't do anything to defend himself. It's just like jumps at his face, kills him instantly. It's like, fucking, you did exactly what you had no plan. Why did you fucking...
What was the point of this?
Yeah,
Why are you so stupid?
Did you know you're a spider expert? Didn't you know you were gonna die? Like, you jingled his web, and then you just let him kill you.
He jingled his freaking web.
Don't jingle spiders' webs. They don't like it.
No.
Do it.
Don't.
They'll come at you.
And I believe after this, the spider leaves. It like escapes and it goes into the cellar.
Going to the basement. I took care of my arch nemesis, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Peace
Watch
out.
my
I'm gonna go hang
first.
out with the queen.
Yo.
That's where it's at.
Me and my baby mama.
Yeah. And then John Goodman gets in there and he discovers James. He's all spiraled up in a web.
He's not looking so good. He's got spiders all over him coming out of his mouth.
Spiders all over him, and he just uses his like, he's got like spider acid, and he's just like individually shooting separate spiders.
Oh, that's actually very similar. The spider web corpse is actually, again, a similarity to Anaconda, where the Anaconda vomits out John Voight and he's all goopy.
That's true.
Yeah, except we don't get a wink in this one for John Goodman.
No, there's no wink. The wink was the best part of the Anaconda. Ah. So funny.
But yeah.
So, yeah, and then at this point, Jeff Daniels tries to get everyone out of the house, which is the stupidest chase sequence in existence, because he runs in and then he's like, there's spiders here, and then all of a sudden spiders come out everywhere, and they're like, oh, we're surrounded, what do we do? Let's go out the front door. 3 spiders on the door. Oh no, we're blocked, we can't get out the door. Let's go upstairs. A way more inconvenient way with more spiders. So they go up.
Bathroom.
What are they doing? So they're stuck in the bathroom, and like all these spiders are all over the place. Everyone gets out the bathroom door except for Jeff, because he's
fighting them with
there.
A little hand towel. He's just whipping around. It's like the dramatic fight scene is it's so stupid. They're like coming down from the ceiling. He's like, whoo, whoo, and there's like these little toy spiders coming around his head.
Really don't understand. He'd for sure be bit and dead by now.
Oh, 100%. Like, these spiders murdered so efficiently, and now they're just like, you know, stormtrooper accuracy, where they're just missing all over the place.
And he basically falls off a balcony and crashes through his shitty floor into the wine cellar, which he discovers very quickly that this is like the nest.
It's the perfect breeding ground.
There's an epic battle, and do you remember exactly how this goes down? Can you describe it for me?
Yeah, so Jeff Bridges, after he falls through his floor into the wine cellar, it also happens to fuck up the electrical box, and it's like all sparking and shooting, and so that's going off. And Jeff Bridges is like kind of he's all awkward and kind of woozy, and then so the first big spider comes down, and that's like the female inbred baby comes in, and she's like kind of jumping at him. He's like, whoa, huh! He's like moving around, and through his jumping, the spider like disorients him, and he slams into his wine racks, and all the wine racks like topple over and like fall, and like all the wine falls out of it, but the wine racks are still on top of them, and somehow the spider gets like launched out into like this other room, and it's like looking at him, and they're like kind of facing off against each other.
Stupid face off, because like as Jeff is moving, he's trying to make it seem like he can't move under these wine racks, but like even the smallest,
super light.
But the smallest movement is like clearly shifting this wine rack around. He's trying to make it seem so heavy, and we're like, come on, Jeff. Even the best acting.
It looks like he's holding on to the wine rack at some points to keep it on his back, because what he's doing is he's grabbing bottles of brandy and throwing them, or just throwing wine bottles and stuff at the spider. And Yeah, so he's throwing all these like wine bottles at the spider, and then he so the spider comes at him, and somehow he finally gets out of the wine rack, and he I think he dodges out of the way, and the spider jumps into the electrical box, and it fries itself, and it's like electrocutes itself, and it's like stuck on there, and so he thinks it's over. But then that's when the final battle begins with with the male general spider, and now it's you find out that oh no, he's still around too. And I think he just like leaps out of a pipe at Jeff Bridges or Jeff Daniels, and he just like jumps out of a pipe at him. And now Jeff Daniels is like mobile, and he has he doesn't have the flamethrower yet. He's just like moving around the room, and they're kind of having this like little face off. And the spider is like, the spider jumps at him and like lands onto him and is like on him, but somehow doesn't bite him. And then he like throws him away. And
so many opportunities for these spiders to kill Jeff, but they never do.
Yeah, so he throws it away, and then it's like I forget what happens in between at the point where they're like duking and diving at each other, and then Jeff Daniels gets the flamethrower. He gets his little like his barbecue lighter and like his little spray can of something that's flammable, and that's his like new weapon. And he's just like going around the room like trying to blow towards the spider. Now the spider's on the defensive, and it's running around, and it's trying to get away from the blowtorch, and then it like gets into a pipe. And Jeff Daniels is like, oh, I wonder if it's in the pipe. And it's like he's like looking, and he's waiting. He's like, is it in the pipe? Is it in the pipe? He's like, oh, I guess it's not in the pipe. And he puts it down. It's like, oh, it's in the pipe. Just fucking comes at his face. It's like, who would have thought the spider that went in the pipe was in the pipe?
Oh my god, why would it be in there? Yeah.
Stupid.
Tax movement.
So yeah, he leaps on him, he like throws it away, and then he finds his like super expensive brandy that he has, and he breaks the top off of it.
So sad.
He starts like throwing it at the spider, like getting it covered in it, and he ends up like lighting the spider on fire. It's like fully in flames. It's like burning up. But no, its spider ain't done yet. Like Anaconda, it still has its like last death throes, and it's like comes out, this big fucking big spider comes out on fire, and it like jumps at Jeff Daniels, but Jeff Daniels grabs his nail gun and he like fires a nail right at the spider, and it like impales the spider and then sends it flying into the electrical box, I believe, and electrocutes it and kills it.
Or no, it goes into the nest.
It doesn't go to the electrical box. Yeah, it flies directly into the egg sac, lights the egg sac on fire, because as we're watching this, the egg sac is hatching in this very intense, like, cutbacks as Jeff Daniels is
and, like, for sure spiders got loose, but it's okay, we'll pretend all loose ends are tied up
definitely here. Showed a bunch of them hatching out and, like, crawling away, so those would have totally gone away. Hence setting up arachnophobia, too.
Pretty sure the spider was also on like a board and he flung it. Like,
it was. That was when he was fighting the female spider. That was his opening move, because the female spider was like, it was like very like menacingly crawling up Jeff Daniels' leg at the beginning. Like it was savoring the kill. It could have bitten him at any time because it was on his leg already, but no, it wanted to like savor it. So it's like crawling towards him. And Jeff Daniels is like terrified, but the board's on his like lap. And so as soon as it goes on, he's like, bonk, and it flings it. And that's how he flings it into the other room. And that's
gotcha.
That was his brilliant move.
There's just so many.
It's hard.
Those scenes are so chaotic. So much weird shit happens.
It's just so funny watching a grown man fight two rubber spiders. And like Jeff Daniels, he does the best he can. He sells the crap out of those two rubber spiders that he's fighting with his little.
He does the best he can. Like I will say that, and so they've successfully killed all the spiders. The world is saved. And then Jeff and his wife move back to San Francisco, and like the last line of the movie is, while there's an earthquake happening, you're like, hey, I'll take earthquakes over spiders any day. Roll credits.
Roll the credits. And everything's happy. That's the end of Arachnophobia! Yay!
Yay! Did
There's a big
it.
spider boss fight, bunch of little spiders killing people. It's a great movie. Give it a
Solid.
watch. You want to watch a solid animal? I guess it's not an animal attack movie. It's like not an insect, arachnid attack movie.
Arachnid attack movie. If you don't like spiders, I wouldn't recommend it.
Will you be rewatching this, Emma?
No. Hell no. I don't want to watch real spiders. It's like, if I'm going to watch spiders, I'll watch fake ones.
I want to make sure my spiders are CG.
Yeah, I don't want real ones.
See, that
real
just
ones
is,
are too real.
that's just another sell for practical effects. The real spiders freak you out more than the CG ones.
They do.
Yeah.
It's the little baby ones, the gross, like a bunch of the little tiny ones all at once. That's the scary part. Everything everywhere all at once, but Spider Edition.
But every universe is a spider universe.
No.
To live in the spider universe.
Did you have any making of stuff for like director?
Well, I looked into our Frank Marshall, the director, because Frank Marshall also, I didn't know this when I picked these two movies, but Frank Marshall also is the director of Congo. So, which is just so wonderful and such a delightful revelation to find.
No wonder though, because like the intro is so similar.
Oh, it totally makes sense. Like, oh, I see. This is, and like even the plot points and like Jeff Daniels' stupid end fight with the spiders and his little blowtorch. It's like this is the birth of like the laser beam white gorilla fight at the end of Congo. Like, of course, the guy who made Arachnophobia then went on to make Congo. But the most interesting thing about the guy is that he actually, he's not a very good director, or at least did not pick very good projects to direct. But turns out he's an amazing producer, and the dude's been producing movies for like the early 80s, like 70s. And he must be really good friends with Steven Spielberg and Robert Zemeckis, because he produced all the Indiana Jones movies, all the Back to the Future movies. He produced like a bunch of the Jurassic Park movies, like almost every amazing movie. Like he produced Hook for he did Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He did all the good Don Bluth movies, like The Land Before Time, like all the Fievel movies. He did Gremlins 2. He did all of these amazing movies. He did The Sixth Sense, so he helped M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah.
Shit. Oh, look at the connections happening here.
The Bourne movies.
Wow.
Oh, he also produced all of the Studio Ghibli English versions.
Whoa.
So like this dude has been like, he may not be a good director, but the dude is like produces like he was the producer on The Last Airbender.
Okay, well that I was about to say, well, he has a good eye.
Yeah,
but
he's got
The
like
Last Airbender. You mean like the M. Night Shyamalan Airbender?
I don't know. Oh, if it's M. Night Shyamalan, then maybe that's not such a good pick. But
because like
still he produced Indiana Jones 5.
Do you have anything else, or is that it for?
No, that was literally only it. I just wanted to look up Frank Marshall. Other than that, I don't know. The movie isn't researching beyond that. It's a fun movie, but it's not like anything mind blowing. There's a bunch of spiders that bite people. There isn't really anything else to it. This is why it's a casual creeps, because it's not worth taking apart or figuring out like, how did they do it? Nah, they got a spider wrangler and they got a bunch of fake spiders on strings. That was...
Oh yeah, lots of spiders on strings.
They lucked out and happened to get like 2 quality actors in Jeff Daniels and John Goodman, and that's probably why the movie's memorable at all.
Thanks for listening, and please stay away from crazy mutant spooters, because they'll take over the world.
Will.
All right, podcast's over.
I don't want to be here anymore.